Hey, what's happening? Hey, this is Jeff, and we're gonna be walking and talking once more. I had another thought I wanted to bring to your attention. Um, what do you guys know about the zombie apocalypse? The zombie apocalypse. Yeah, it was funny because back in the day, the zombie movies and stuff that we watched, you had a bunch of these humanoids, I want to call them, because they weren't really people anymore. They'd been taken over, and in the old days, they'd walk kind of brains, right? Well, in the last couple of decades or so, they're not slow movers anymore. They're not like a bunch of small Frankenstein monsters. No, 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 no. No, they can run now. Yeah, that just ain't fair, is it? All right. Did you know? Did you know you have a zombie in you? Yeah, you do. Paul writes about it in his letter to the Romans, and when we're baptized and we come out of the water, we're buried with Christ in his death, and we come out again to walk again in newness of life, right? The problem is we got this old man in our hearts, this old person in our hearts that we killed back then. But he keeps coming back like a zombie. You know, and it ain't a shot between the eyes that kills this one. No, no, no. It's a heart shot. Paul writes about this in Romans 7. And he talks about the foolish man that he is, and how he keeps doing these things that he doesn't want to do. He has no desire to do these things, but yet he does them anyway. And he knows he shouldn't be doing it, but he sins anyway. And he says that there's this sin that's living in him, the sin that indwells him. And he says, who'll come and save me? It's the grace of our Lord. That's what comes and saves us. You know, it's in the movies. Here comes the Calvary. Right, the Calvary. But the thing is, once you've done your best to get rid of that sin that dwells inside of you, and you clear that house, you know, Jesus had a parable about a man that had cleaned his head, had gotten the demons out and all that stuff. And the demon decided to come back, make a visit, take a look-see, and saw that the house was clean. Everything was in its place. There wasn't any dirt there, nothing on the floor. So he came back and brought 7 more that were worse than the first. It's not enough to clean house. You know, if you've got an addiction to something, you need to replace it with something else. So the house is occupied and not empty waiting for a demon to come back through, right? Not waiting for your inner demons, your addictions, and your petty jealousies and your anger, all that stuff to come back. You got to get rid of that mess, and you got to replace it with something else. Replace it with something positive. If you're thinking of joy and peace and love and all those wonderful things like we talk about in Philippians 4, that ugliness has a harder time coming back. It's not coming back to an empty residence anymore. It's coming back to a residence that's filled with the joy and the peace and the love of family. Well, that's it for walking and talking for the day. I'm going to keep walking, but I'm not talking anymore. At least till I get back to the house. Take care, guys.